personally, like, anytime I see these travel videos of Black people, specifically Black women going to countries and like people are just taking pictures of them and like grabbing them and touching their hair, like it really gives me the ick. And I think it's interesting because I feel like some people kind of like it because it makes them feel like they're a celebrity. Like I feel like they think this is how like Black celebrityness feels like. And so maybe that is like the appeal to enjoying all that attention. But personally, I don't like feeling like an animal because that's really what it's giving to me. Like it actually gives human zoos. And I was realizing that with all these posts, they are intentionally using the insecurity of Black women's experiences with travel to target Black women into buying a product.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Maya's World. Also, this video was actually recommended in my community section because I asked what kind of topics people wanted to hear, and someone brought up traveling and travel bloggers. Hi y'all, my name is Mayowa, and typically on my platform I talk about colorism, featureism, texturism, and anti-Blackness. Today I'm going to be talking about anti-Blackness and how it spreads into traveling and tourism industries. Because I feel like a lot of these travel bloggers are actually scamming people and are being really disingenuous. There are so many travel bloggers that are intentionally targeting Black women and trying to let them think that certain countries are safe for whatever reason, and we're gonna be getting into that in this video. Before I get into this topic, I wanna do like a life update because I've had very traumatic things happen recently. So last week, like literally 7 days ago, I was in a car accident. I was T-boned by a huge truck. Thankfully, I was able to walk away from the accident. I didn't have any severe or like serious injuries. I had like an elbow pain and my arm hurt. But aside from that, I was able to walk away. And I was just like the whole thing was really shocking. I've never been in a car accident where I'm the driver before. And I've like never had a speeding ticket or anything like that. So just experiencing something so catastrophic was really difficult for me, especially with losing my mom less than a year ago. I didn't really have her to call in that moment. You know, I felt really sad about it because the whole experience has been very expensive. But my friends were telling me that, you know, my mom was who kept me alive. And so even though she wasn't here physically with me during this like really terrible accident, she was also still with me, you know. So it's been a really like roller coaster of a week and trying to, like, my car is totaled. So just trying to like rebuild. I'm trying to get more consistent on YouTube. I'm almost at 100,000 subscribers, which is like a really big thing to me. Not that numbers matter, but I feel like I've been working at YouTube for a while and I'm just very grateful at the growth that I'm seeing. So I'm just trying to like push myself in this arena. The car accident made it very difficult for me to get back, but this is my first video back. So I'm very thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to my mom. I'm thankful to my ancestors. I'm thankful to Ludumare. I'm thankful to many things. Another thing that I want to promote is Warmer Shades event is coming up. It is going to be Sunday, September 1st. And it is a cabaret for dark-skinned performers. We have some really interesting and very cool performers coming, but please buy your tickets and come. It's gonna be at the supermarket in Atlanta. So now that I've talked about myself, I wanna talk about travel bloggers and travel content targeting and preying on Black women. I've seen some very strange things happening online, and I've actually been peeping it for a while, but I wanna talk about it today because I have like seen so many videos of Black people traveling to different countries and having their hair touched and having their bodies grabbed and being like, this is such a great experience, like I love being here, and telling other people that it's a safe place for Black women, to the point where so many brands are intentionally targeting Black women because they know that is something that they are checking for when they're traveling. To start off the video, I want to talk about safety and what safety means, because I think it's really important for us to acknowledge that safety looks different for different people. Depending on your intersectionality or your intersections, safety is going to look different for different people. It's really important to know that because there are some Black people who are like, I've been to Croatia and I had a great time. And I'm like, congratulations, babe, but that was a you experience. And it's really important to know the difference between a you experience and a global experience, right? For me, I don't really feel safe fully safe anywhere in the world. I feel like there are certain things that I'm always tossing up. What is safe to a light-skinned Black woman will not always be safe to a dark-skinned Black woman. And that's very important to recognize that. Also being said, what is safe to a skinny Black woman is not going to be always safe to a fat Black woman. My personal metrics of safety is, are there people around who look like me? If something was to happen or go down, do I feel like the people around me will respond? Is this city the kind of city where I can navigate by myself? So something that I saw online that I thought was just so strange was this post on TikTok by a travel content page that has pretty big engagement. And I noticed that I would see really similar rhetorics used for each post. And it would have a different dark-skinned woman on the cover or a Black woman on the cover. And she would talk about how Switzerland is an amazing country. It would always read similarly, and it was just kind of creepy. And then in the middle of their promotion, I would see that they would shout out this thing called beef tallow. Listen, I don't know nothing about it. I personally wouldn't use it, but I know there's some people who use it. But they would do all these things, and they would write, they would say, oh, tag Swiss, and I'll give you guys more information on how to move to Switzerland. And there were so many Black women in the comments being like, I would love to go to Switzerland. This sounds amazing. Can someone tell me how to get there? All the things on this thing sounds good. And as someone who has been to Switzerland, I would not say that Switzerland is a safe country for Black women. And I was realizing that with all these posts, they are intentionally using the insecurity of Black women's feelings or of Black women's experiences with travel to target Black women into buying a product. And that is just really next level, because people are getting this impression that Switzerland is a really open-minded and accepting place because you're using a dark-skinned woman as the cover. And I came to find out through research that allegedly I was in contact with one of the dark-skinned women, and she did not consent to her image being used for this commercial. So they're taking people's images and using it to sell essentially a brand, the cover-up of making Switzerland seem safe. And I know that there have been other people who have talked about how people should just move to Italy because Italy has a really low birth rate, and move to Italy and it's really safe for Black women and it's really safe for Black people. And I am just like, oh my God, no, it is not. Just seeing how they treat migrants coming into the country, I would not say somewhere like Italy or Spain or Switzerland is specifically unequivocally safe for Black women. Also, I just want to say, I am someone who, I lived in Germany for 6 years, and I have traveled a lot around Europe. I made some of the deepest relationships in my life while living in Germany. So I'm not trying to say that Germany is an unlivable place for a Black person. Sure, I was able to make it work, and I was able to have great friendships, and I was able to have great opportunities, but I just wouldn't describe these places like that. And I think it's okay to admit that. There's kind of a pressure to make it seem like these places are incredibly progressive and really safe. I think there's a lot of marketing around making these places seem like that. When you have an American passport, you are often treated differently than people who are African migrants or African refugees. Personally, anytime I see these travel videos of Black people, specifically Black women going to countries, and people are just taking pictures of them and grabbing them and touching their hair, it really gives me the ick. There's a creator who I've seen online. I think her name is Claudia, and this is absolutely no hate to this creator. I think she's really pretty. I think she's gorgeous. But when I see, I think she's someone who's relocated to Turkey, and she walks down the street and people ask to take photos with her. And personally, for myself, I just would find this to be really, really overwhelming, really, really overstimulating. But I can't help but wonder, what are they doing with these photos? After they've taken these photos with her, what do you show your friends? Do you keep it in your phone? Do you that is my concern. And I think it's interesting because I feel like some people kind of like it because it makes them feel like they're a celebrity. I feel like they think this is how Black celebrityness feels like. And so maybe that is the appeal to enjoying all that attention. But personally, I don't like feeling like an animal, because that's really what it's giving to me. It actually gives human zoo. And it's really important to know history of human zoos when you travel. They had so many countries in Europe have kept African people in zoos, and it was called human zoos, and they like had no rights. They were treated badly. Another person is also Sarah Bartman. Like, there are so many Black African people that were kept in zoos, and I feel like that like energy still resounds a lot in different countries. You know what I mean? Like that, taking a picture of you, grabbing your butt, touching your hair, touching your body, wanting to touch you. It's giving historical trauma, babe. And I just really don't like it. Like, and I get the like nervousness of if you're in a foreign country and someone's ever just grabbed your hair and like you're too stunned to speak, because I've definitely been there. Like when I first went to Germany, people would just touch me and I just wasn't used to that because I hadn't experienced that. Like I hadn't experienced anything like that in America. So when I experienced it, I didn't really have the tools immediately. I get kind of fawning and like not responding immediately. But the people who are like, I love it. Like, this is how you teach people your culture. Like, no, that is not how you teach someone your culture. They do not need to touch you to understand your culture. If they were able to like, and also I just think it's so disingenuous because a lot of these countries will literally have Black people there. And if every single time you're walking to the city, people are taking pictures of you, what do you think the locals are feeling like? I need y'all to stand up. If not for yourself, for the locals, because it exacerbates the experiences of Black locals in the diaspora. I remember hanging out with some of my Black German friends and we would go places and they would automatically be speaking English to them, even though they were born and bred in Germany. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, oh, how long have you been learning German? Your German is so good. And it's like, they're clearly German. I even have some friends that can't even speak English well at all. And people are just like, oh, wow, how's your German so good? And all that comes because you always think that Blackness is like a foreign export when so many Black people are born abroad. Like another place that people love to big up is Morocco. And I will say this right now, the worst country I've ever traveled to as a dark-skinned person was Morocco. I'm not going back there for nothing. It was so bad. And people talk about Morocco like it's a really great country. Everything is so good for Black people. I don't know what you're talking about. When my friend went to Morocco, she was told to go back to Africa. In Morocco. When I was in the airport, a lady handed me her bags in a really aggressive manner and was like, carry my bags. She thought I was working there. She thought I was a worker. And kind of being ignorant to that reminds me of when, like, people who are so adamant that, like, racism in these foreign countries is made up in our head remind me of times or folks who sometimes come to America. Sometimes when Black immigrants come to America, they'll be like, oh my God, America's a great country. I don't understand why Black people aren't doing well here. It's so easy. Yeah, babe, because you're not from here. The reason that Black immigrants can come to America and be like, oh, this is such an easy country, I don't understand why African Americans aren't doing well, blah, 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 is because you're not from there, right? So sometimes being from another place can give you a completely different perspective, and also you don't have the same kind of shared trauma. And so it's really ignorant to act like just because you had a good experience in this place, everybody's having a good experience in this place. So if you made it to the end of this video, let me know what you guys like about the look. I was inspired by like oceans and globes, and this is the look up close. Yes, it was so much fun doing this makeup look, y'all. It was so much fun. Like, I just was really enjoying myself. I love makeup so much. If you are a makeup brand, please contact me. Your girl wants to do makeup collaborations. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.